Chapter Sai, The Tomb of Bai Suxing. The young man in the green robe, his once sturdy figure swayed a few times before he knelt down, burying his hands deep into the rocky ground in front of him. Before him stood a stone monument with faint inscriptions. The words were blurry, but one could vaguely discern the characters for Suxing. This young man was Wu Hui, and the mountaintop of Tianxing Peak happened to be the burial place of his mother, Bai Suxing. Sigh. A sigh echoed, and a tall figure appeared behind Wu Hui. He was in his 30s, dressed in black, with a touch of gray at his temples. He gazed at the 6 large characters on the stone monument, letting out only that sigh. "Father, I have been unfilial and disappointed you," said Wu Hui without turning his head, but he knew exactly who the person behind him was: his father, Wu Haiya, the head of the Wu family. "Huier, do you want to know about your mother?" "In fact, she didn't die," whispered Wu Haiya, his voice filled with nostalgia. "What? Mother didn't die?" Upon hearing his father's words, a wave of joy swept across Wu Hui's face. Countless nights and days, he had imagined what his mother looked like, wanting to learn about her. But everyone remained tight-lipped about her, including his father, who only mentioned that his mother had passed away shortly after his birth. Now, hearing that his mother was alive, how could Wu Hui not be concerned? Wu Haiya looked up at the sky, lost in memories of the past. "I only spent a year with your mother. When I met her, she seemed to have lost her memory, so even now, I don't know her origin. All I know is that her name is Bai Suxing." Wu Hui stared blankly at the lonely tombstone, his gaze blurred by tears. "Despite just 1 year together, it was the most important year of my life. After that year, we officially became husband and wife," said Wu Haiya, his face filled with grief. "After that night, we were separated, and I never saw her again." "Ah!" Wu Hui gasped, his mouth agape. To be separated right after getting married, what kind of blow must it have been for his father? "Another year passed, and one morning, I found you by my bedside. There was a colorless pearl next to you, along with a note that said, 'Take care of our Huier.' I hated her, hated that she left without a word, causing me so much pain. So, I erected a tombstone, pretending she was dead. But I am also grateful to her for bringing you into my life. I long to see her." As Wu Haiya spoke, tears flowed down his determined face, filled with tenderness. Boom! In Wu Hui's heart, it felt as if a thunderous roar echoed, "Mother, how could you bear to abandon your Huier?" Wu Hui touched his chest, his face pale, struggling for breath. He took out a crystal-clear, colorless pearl from his embrace, which shimmered with iridescent colors in the sunlight. Seeing the colorless pearl in Wu Hui's hand, a nostalgic expression appeared on Wu Haiya's face. "This pearl is the only token your mother left for you, and it holds clues to finding her in the future. I only hope that you can become stronger and help me find her, so that I may see her once." Puff! At that moment, Wu Hui's face turned from pale to crimson. Unable to contain himself any longer, he spurted out a mouthful of blood. The colorless pearl in his hand transformed into a shade of pale blue. Overwhelmed, Wu Hui collapsed, losing consciousness. Wu Hui's awareness was hazy, unsure of his surroundings. A misty green space enveloped him, with swirling currents of energy flowing and converging in one direction. His consciousness drifted along with the surging vortex of energy. After an unknown period, perhaps in an instant, a peculiar scene unfolded before Wu Hui. A swirling vortex of green energy floated in the air, with a green-colored pearl at its center. This, Wu Hui realized where he was, struck by inexplicable astonishment. It was the cyclone of martial energy within his dantian, distinctly matching his wood spirit root constitution. However, during his usual internal observations, there was no such green pearl present. Yet now, it resided within his martial energy cyclone. This chapter comes to an end. If you enjoy the works of Changfeng Bookhouse, please follow, like, and bookmark. Your support is my motivation.